¡Órale! Bienvenidos and welcome to the Familia FFP podcast. I'm your host, Jorge Georgie Martin, with my primo, Nico Las Vegas. Nico, ¿cómo están?
¿Cómo están todos?
Oh, baby, todos estamos bien. Todos estamos bien. Love it, love it, love it. We are, Familia, we are live on YouTube. So please make sure you give us a like and subscribe. Please, 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 por favor. We ask you, te lo agradecemos 1,000,000 de gracias on top of it. Also, make sure you're following us on Twitter and Instagram at Familia FFB. And you got me at Jorge Martin 17 on Twitter. And Familia, we are going live right after the New England Atlanta game. So whatever we want to call that game.
I thought it was practice, like, only offense, no defense kind of type of thing. So
well, what was it that Allen Iverson said about practice?
It's just practice for New England. I mean, I guess, so I'm not sure what that was all about.
Oh, I really don't know what was up with that game. It kind of confirms a lot of the things that we've been thinking of, is the fact that New England is just damn good. That's one thing that is for damn sure. Mac Jones is really showing up that he's that he's a baller, and that he's been one of the he is the best rookie quarterback this year. I know your boy Fabio Football may still end up being the best quarterback, but primo, man, are you looking at New England the way we have the last few weeks? How much of a contender are they in the AFC for the Super Bowl?
Well, I think Belichick, it's like Einstein always wore the same clothes because he wanted to focus on his, what he wanted to study. And Belichick, obviously, he wears the same thing so he can focus on plays. But I have to give him credit because taking that team and, being able to do what they do, I mean, good defense. I mean, how many points did they get on fantasy today?
32 points. 32.34 points in our Familia League. Ay, Dios mío.
Yeah, they say the best offense is a good defense, but offense did pretty well too. So, they had it all the way around. And poor Atlanta, I mean, Matty Ice, he tries and he tries, and I don't know what they need. It's just like one of those teams that is just never going to be able to turn it around, like the Raiders or some of the other guys. I don't know what they need to do. So,
well, number one, they need to beef up that offensive line, because the fact that he just was running for his life right from the start. He just was not. I felt bad for him. I mean, it was like he's not very nimble to begin with.
Right.
And then on top of it, he's got to run for his life. He got sacked 4 times today. The Falcons threw 4 interceptions. One of them came back for a touchdown. I mean, and it would help if he had more weapons. You had Cordarrelle Patterson inactive for this game because of his ankle injury. You also had Calvin Ridley. He's working on his mental health. He's concentrating on mental health. So that is he really didn't have a lot of weapons available to him today. And I mean, you look at them. Their leading rusher was Kadri Allison for 34 yards. Their leading receiver was Russell Gage, 49 yards. Matty Ice, he just threw, or as we like to sometimes call him, Mateo Hielo. He only threw for 153 yards and no touchdowns. And I think they said that's only the second time in his career that he's ever been shut out. So, man, tough one.
That's funny because yellow is yellow. And you never want to eat yellow snow, so it means ice. So that's all very confusing. If you try to explain that to somebody, like, no, yellow ice. Like, I know it's so good. Like, no es bueno. Yellow ice.
No es bueno. I don't know. Well, hey, familia, just if you guys are joining us, make sure to throw a question into the chat. If you got a start sick question, this is our Adentro Y Afuera show. You've got any other questions that, about trades, anything like that? A lot of leagues, they're doing their trades. Feel free to throw them in the chat and we'll get to them at some point. But, also New England, they didn't really need to do much. And I think the big thing that we got out of this game was kind of like looking at how they were going to break up the running back carries. And, there was all the debate. How much is Damian Harris going to get? How much is Ramondre Stevenson going to get any? Well, it kind of got split down the middle. You got Stevenson with 12 rushing attempts, 69 yards. You had Damian Harris with 10 rushing attempts, 56 yards. So, honestly, Primo, I mean, this is kind of like the typical New England running back community, where it is a true committee, and it's just going to be it's going to be tough to predict this one. I mean, do you have any kind of feeling on these guys? Because I sure don't.
Well, it's funny because Stevenson was on the waiver wire. He's like top rank, like he's the one to get. And you're looking at this kind of going, I don't know. Am I going to spend money or points, or am I going to get myself out of the order wrong? You know, do I pick him up? And you look at projections and like 3 points, 4 points. You know, I'm a slave to the projections. I hate to say that. You know, if you guys watched the league way back when, that's what it was, slave to projections. And I am. But I didn't pick him up. I just thought it wasn't worth it. And I don't know, mixed reviews from today, but it's slim pickings toward the end, and everyone's going to get hurt, or they're getting hurt, and you know, we'll just see what you can get.
You know, and I think it's one of those things where you know, when it comes to running backs, you get what you can take, and you take what you can get. And you know, with these guys, they both got 10, at least 10 rushing attempts, and I honestly think that's what's going to happen, unless one of these guys gets hurt. The other one, I think it's going to get pretty much split up, and you know what? They're probably going to do it that way to keep guys fresh, because they think that Belichick, I'm sure, thinks that he has a run ahead of him where he's going to be able to, where he could have a bit of a playoff run, and as fresh as he can keep his guys, hey, go for it.
SOCKS, the song, man.
I love it. I always love it when you're on, Primo. You always bring a lightness to this.
And for those of you who don't speak too much Spanish, SOCKS is what it is in Spanish, but we call it the socks. So you know, now you guys understand. So.
Oh man, but yeah, and you know, Mac Jones, you know, talked about him a little bit. He had 207 yards, threw a touchdown. I started him in one of my leagues, not the Familia League, but I started him in my Dodger League, and you know, I was hoping for more. I was kind of expecting more because Atlanta's pass defense was not very good, but yeah, you know, he did throw a pick that kind of deep into Atlanta territory that kind of hurt a little bit, and this was a game that they got up and it was just running it. So he did well. Jacoby Myers did not get another touchdown, so he's, you know, maybe he'll do another 1,500 yards before he gets another touchdown. But really, the story this day, I'm looking at.
Yeah, they told me call Jacoby Myers, and I did, and he just didn't answer. You know,
he didn't get you 2.1 million.
No, he did not.
I just knew. But yeah, the top receiver for the Patriots, 42 yards. So not a lot. So, you know, but vamos a ver. Kind of close the books on this one. But hey, speaking of books, Primo, we've been doing okay when it comes to betting lately.
Oh yeah. You know, we're on the inside discussion by forum, by committee. It tends to do pretty well for us. So, George, you want to kind of introduce what's been going on, or what?
So what we've done is, well, number one, Primo, you were the one who threw out, hey, let's do a Familia bet. And the first couple of weeks, I was the anchor on us. I was the one who screwed up the parlay. But the last few weeks, we've been doing pretty well. Last week we went 3 for 3 on our parlay with let's see, I picked what we've been doing, like you Hector and me. We've been picking one game each, our favorite play for the week. And so last week that we've now hit 2 3-team parlays, right? Or was one a 4-teamer?
One was a 4-teamer, and then
right.
I take it, go to Tahoe, because I go every weekend practically, and then come back. But we did a 4-game parlay because our cousin Ricky, who wasn't on today, but we picked for him, and lo and behold, he wasn't even there, and he did well. It was amazing, But we hit a 4-game, we've hit a 3-game, and Georgie was picking long shots of 16, picking teams that were double-digit underdogs, and they were winning straight out. So, Georgie, if you got an underdog that's double-digit, tell the crowd, because they're going to win. I'd bet the money line if you were going to pick it.
And that's the one that's crazy. Now I'm looking up, and I put this all in a tweet at Jorge Martin 17. So you can, Familia, so far I've got a betting system where if you take the home team where the home team has at least 4 fewer victories than the team on the road, than the visitor. So a great example was the 49ers Monday Night Football. This past Monday Night Football, they had 4 fewer wins than the Rams, and they were 3.5-point underdogs, and the 49ers won outright. So just, I mean, and that scenario has come up 7 times. That combination has come up 7 times. And I'm looking it up because
the Giants are the New York Giants. Isn't that their situation here?
They are close. They're a 3-game. They're home. No. That this week they're on the road.
Oh, okay.
So
they have to be at home. They have to be less than 4 games or more behind, and they're the underdog. Okay. I just want to make sure our audience understands that, because I hate for somebody to go to Vegas and say, well, I think he meant high, low, I don't know. But yes, and it's worked.
It's been crazy. It's been utterly loco. So I've got where is that? I'm looking it up. I'm sorry, familia. I wish I would have gotten this out there, gotten this up, but with so many tweets that I've got going out, and tweets and retweets, that I've got a few. But as I mentioned, the 49ers were a pick last week, and the Dolphins were a pick last week. The Washington football team was a pick last week. So all 3 of those, they were heavy underdogs. And I mean, they all came through. They all came through. And it's just, wow. The only one that last weekend that didn't come through, actually, no, all 3. We had 3 for 3 last weekend in week 10. So week 9 had Buffalo at Jacksonville, 15-point underdogs. So we had Jacksonville won that game 9-6. Now, the only time that this has been wrong was Arizona at San Francisco in week 9, where the 49ers were 5.5-point favorite, 5.5-point underdogs, and lost by 14. But the previous week, you had the Jets, who were 11.5-point underdogs against visiting Cincinnati. They covered. You had Houston. This was the craziest cover. Houston was 16.5-point underdogs, and they were at one point down 38-0. And they scored 22 unanswered points at the end of the game to cover by 0.5 point, by the hook. So, it's a crazy system. It usually does about 60 to 65% victory rate, which anything above 50% you're making money. But this year it's doing very well, the home underdogs. And so this weekend we've got 2 bets. Green Bay at Minnesota, 2.5-point. The Vikings are 2.5-point underdogs, and Arizona at Seattle, also 2.5-point underdogs. And that's one of the bets that I put down for our bet of the week, because I think that number could actually change if Kyler is sat down, which is still a distinct possibility of happening. But what are the other bets that we have going on this week, Primo?
We like KC. Kansas City is going to be playing, and they are playing Dallas. They are -2.5. So that's a good one. And then Miami is -3, which I think is a good one. So, and that's my pick. That's what I like.
And that's 2 teams that are bad. Now that they're a road favorite, which I don't usually love those, but I think this one's a possibility. The Jets were a team that just got trounced at home, and the Dolphins are flying high on their defense. So it could be a good one for us this weekend.
Well, today New England was a road favorite, and they did their deal. So I think this might be the week that changes, because you know what, George, you didn't do very well the first 4 weeks, and now you're cleaning house. So maybe it's a pendulum thing. So maybe you're coming
cleaning house. What am I, the housekeeper?
Exactly.
Give me the mop and the vacuum, primo. Vámonos.
So we'll see. I have to make sure, because if you go 5 in the wrong way, then at least you're consistent. You can always bet on consistency. You just can't bet on everyone every time. But anyway, let's get into it.
All right, let's get into some chisme, primo.
Chisme.
So first off, major shout out and hats off, un abrazo y un beso for AJ Brown. I mean, muchos aplausos. AJ Brown opened up today, was about his battle with depression. You know, it's as we talked about. You know, I've got the Movember mustache. We are doing this for men's mental health awareness. So I love, you know, we all love that he just came out and talked about his battle, talked about people who helped him, Elijah Moore, his former teammate in college, and also Mike Vrabel, his head coach, how they helped him. So AJ Brown, salud. Salud, you're a champ. You're a champ from the familia side of things. And te lo digo, it's anything to bring awareness to men's mental health, primo. I mean, it's just, isn't it great?
So is that mustache from all November? Because that's kind of like baby just peach fuzz. I'm not sure.
Well, so I had a good one going on the first couple of weeks for about the first 10 days because I just shaved. I had the full goatee and I shaved it off. Well, my daughters and I we had tickets to go see Hamilton last week, and they asked me. Hamilton. Yes. And so they asked me, you know, because we were going to take pictures, and they didn't love the mustache. They said, "Dad, can you please shave it off for Hamilton?" So I shaved it off for Hamilton, and started growing it back immediately. And I'll keep it for the remainder of the month. The goatee may come back at some point. It will definitely come back at some point because my walking the dog in the morning, my chin definitely gets a little bit of a shockwave whenever I'm now that the temperatures are, you know, in the 50s and sometimes even cooler than that. So I will still call out for men's mental health awareness. So muy bien hecho. From one Brown to another, you know, there's all this news, this chisme going on. This really is chisme. Antonio Brown potentially has used a fake vaccine card. Ay Dios mío, primo. I mean, really? I mean, that's coming out now. His attorney / agent is coming out and saying that he did not get. He is actually vaccinated, but I mean, you just don't love seeing this kind of stuff. Just do not love seeing this kind of stuff. It's
and he's only 19. He had a fake ID. It was just really, really bad.
It says it says his name is Antonio Brown from Michigan, but he's 46. It says he's 46, and
exactly. You know, yeah, see, now we have to get fake IDs going the other way. Like, hello, hey, how you doing? Yeah, I'm 53. It says so on my my Match.com thing. Yeah, so.
I do sometimes laugh when people say they need to see my ID. I'm like, really? Come on. You know, I haven't. You know, it's been the 80s since I needed to get carded. So that's too funny. That is too funny. Or else I just needed to borrow your ID.
That's right.
Mr. 2 years older than me. Yeah. So we got a little injury talk that things to keep an eye on. Alvin Kamara, he missed last week with a knee injury. Here we are. We're recording this on Thursday evening. He has yet to practice this week, so keep an eye on the practice reports. But those of you who already have taken Mark Ingram, you need to have him. You need to have him ready. Listos. Póngase listo. Ponte trucha, as they said on Stand and Deliver.
That's right.
Ponte trucha. And another one, Clyde Edwards, El Aire, not expected to be activated this week. The Chiefs have a bye in week 12. So here we are coming up on week 11. And so it's an early game. It's not an early game. So it's actually an afternoon game.
Afternoon delight.
Yeah. Sky rockets in sight.
Afternoon delight.
But yeah, we'll make sure we'll keep an eye on this. You know, I'll put it out on the Twitter sphere and make sure we get some information out there. But yeah, it's fire up Daryl Williams. He looked so good last week, and we'll be talking about him in a very, very quick second. So actually, you know what? Let's get into it. Week 11, Adentro Y Afuera, and we got the Rams and the Broncos who are on a bye this week. So, you know, we got Matthew Stafford who's sitting out. Definitely some high-powered players: Cooper Kupp, Daryl Henderson. So and the running backs for the Broncos are Javonte Williams, Melvin Gordon are doing well. So it's some players, but it's not the 4 or 6 games where so many other so many teams are out there. So I think it's a little bit more manageable this way, unless you've been riding Cooper Kupp, in which case lo siento mucho. Deal with it.
The Rams need some vacation. I mean, they need to sit down and rest. I mean, I don't know what's going on with them. It's like, it seemed like so obvious they were going to win those games, and they just got crushed. I mean, let's add more players. Let's add more stars. Then they'll do even worse. That's how they are. So.
I know. Hopefully that they get things figured out, because there's a lot of investment that's been made into this team to possibly make it to the Super Bowl this year at SoFi Stadium. So vamos a ver. It's
so disappointing. I think the only answer is to have a third team in LA. Just in case, because we need more. You had nothing, and then now just 3 teams in LA. Why not, right?
Well, in a way, the Raiders are a de facto team because they're in Vegas, and Vegas is, a 4-hour extension of LA. So,
yeah, those poor Southwest Airlines stewardesses kind of, I've heard that's the worst flight to be on. From LA and Burbank to, especially Burbank to Vegas on football days. But yeah, I love the Raiders. True blue, true silver and black.
Los Raiders, go Raiders. Well, we're going to get into the Sunday slate, and we're going to, preview some games. I'm going to make sure to, go into the games a little more detail on familiaffp.com. So please make sure you're checking us out. Again, we're live on YouTube, Familia. So if you want to drop a question in the chat, please feel free to do so. I've got a little quick reminder, and if you've got, but just make sure to give us a like and subscribe on there. But we are going to start with, watching it today. It is the game of the week. Dallas 7-2 at Kansas City 6-4. Kansas City now, 2 weeks ago, they were like, everybody was pouring dirt on them and saying, what the hell is wrong with Patrick Mahomes? And then one 400-yard game with 5 TDs changes everything. So you got Kansas City, a 2.5 point favorite. And it's the game of the, it's the highest game over under at 56 points. Primo, just looking at everybody there's so many players. Is there anybody you're thinking about sitting? I don't, there's not a lot, definitely not the prime time players, but you got to go pretty far down before I start thinking about who to put afuera for this game.
I would probably sit Elliott, and then I'd probably sit Mahomes. I'm in almost last place. I just don't care anymore, So, but
you're the returning champ.
Nothing like going from worst to first. That'll be me.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna have my own show. It's gonna be great, glamour. It's gonna be awesome. No, but I have to give up the trophy. I think I'm pretty sure, but that's okay.
Well, hopefully you're handing it to me. So ojalá. I'll take it from you. But you got in this game both quarterbacks. you got Dak Prescott QB9. He's just been so consistent of late. God. I think people did expect more out of him, probably top 5 quarterback. But the way this team is running right now, running literally with Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard, it's tough to not want to have a part of this, because they're going to get you on the running game. They're going to get you in the passing game. Elliott is the RB7 on the season. Tony Pollard is going to be a player who is going to get some run, because the Chiefs have been a little bit better on defense, but again, they're against the running backs. They're number 20 in the league, so they're giving up plenty of yards. Now, the big question is, how much damage are they going to do through the air? CeeDee Lamb, he's the wide receiver 8 on the season, coming off a big game last week, 6 catches, 94 yards, 2 touchdowns. Amari Cooper has been quiet the last couple of weeks. He did have 122 yards and a score a few weeks ago. So, I know you kidded, but we're definitely thinking we're not thinking about sitting either one of these. And I know Cooper's had some injury issues, and this season, but we're definitely
Amari Cooper should come out. Silence of the Lamb has woken up. Yeah.
Now, Michael Gallup is, to me, he's borderline. A lot of he was kind of like a waiver wire dandy the last couple of weeks, but 42 yards on 3 receptions last week, not big, and it looks like he's cutting into the work for Dalton Schultz, who really only saw 2 targets last week, caught 1 ball for 14 yards. Just that when you get to those guys, it's tough, especially Schultz because he's a tight end, and you really need tight ends, except for our league because.
He got kind of shut down. I mean, I took a poll about Gallup, and the Gallup poll said that he was going to do well this week. Yes, I got that in there. I knew I would say that.
Oh, he won. He won a bet on that one. So somebody dared him to get that. So how much did you win? $50 on that bet. Right. So we did.
Buck ain't got nothing on me. I get it all in there. So,
well, you know what? And going to the KC side, I mean, you got Mahomes, who has been so just almost thrown, tirado al lado, and he's still the QB1, especially after last week when he threw 406 yards and 5 TDs. I mean, I know that the Cowboys are middle of the road against the quarterback, number 15. But I mean, I'm expecting fireworks in this game. I think it's going to be fireworks on both sides, and he's just going to be taking some shots. And there's going to be a lot of I think it's going to be a lot of Tyreek Hill, a lot of Travis Kelce. They're both. And I don't know if I want to start Nicole Hardman, Primo. I mean, he only got 7% target share last week, and that one's a little worrisome. Just a little worrisome.
Well, Tyreek, I don't know what happened. They were covering him, and he just got wide open. I mean, it's like, but Dallas, I think will be able to cover him a little bit better. You've got the cornerbacks on that. I think are a little bit better. Diggs he may pick something off. You never know. But I have a feeling that Dallas got a better defense than most people give them credit for. I've been surprised. I mean, that owner's box up there, they haven't been this happy in I don't know how long. I mean, I heard the other day that they haven't been in a Super Bowl in 25 years. Is that right? Something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's crazy. I mean, I remember when they were in a Super Bowl, but that's because I'm old. So that was half my life ago and some change. So, hey, that's okay.
Yeah, I had more hair at the time. So
you had hair at one time?
At some point. And now I just have it down here.
You had a mustache on your head at one point? That's crazy.
me lo pinté right across. I'll do that. It'll feel like I have hair.
Yeah, so, like the girls do.
Grow it across. It'll feel like I have bangs or something like that.
There you go. All right.
Now, one guy that I really love this week is Daryl Williams. The Cowboys, they're pretty good against the running backs, but Williams is going to see a lot of room to rumble, both for rushing and also catching balls out of the backfield, because I think the Cowboys are still going to be way back. They're going to have their safeties way back to just try and bracket and keep Tyreek Hill from popping off the long ones. I think it's going to leave a lot of room down the middle. I think it's going to leave Travis Kelce open a lot, and I think it's going to leave Daryl Williams open. I think he could have a big game at home. And the offensive line for the Chiefs has played better the last couple weeks, so I think it's potentially a good one.
Yeah, Kelce down the middle. Oh, that's not the same as Kittle down the middle.
Who stole that from you, by the way? Who was it who stole that from you?
Peyton Manning. He said he was on his little show with Eli, and he was like, Kittle over the middle. Like, no, then Kittle down the middle. And like, that sounds so much better. But you know what? I'm glad he's listening to the show. Makes me feel better. So, but that's okay. I own nothing. My voice is out there. When I sing karaoke, if you record it, I don't care if you play it at home or over and over again on your A-track. That's okay. I am old. No, but that's okay.
They have this thing called YouTube that they could put it up. So, and that's where we are right now. So we could, you could sing a little right now if you want, and it'll.
No, that's okay. But anyway, my jokes are free. I don't want any royalties. And if you want to practice, on delivery, I'm here for you. So anyway, back to football, George. Go ahead.
He'll be there for you. Okay, well, let's go to Buffalo. So we got Indianapolis 5-5 at Buffalo 6-3. We got Buffalo is a 7-point favorite at home, 49.5 point over under. It's you got 40 degrees, possible drizzle. Not this is one of the games where weather could come into play. I think to me that says a lot of bad for the players who are from the dome. So that being Indianapolis, I think it hurts Wentz. I think it hurts Michael Pittman a little bit. So I would really be worried about starting. Definitely, in fact, in one league, I had the option to start either Mac Jones on Thursday Night Football or Carson Wentz, and I went with Jones. I just didn't want to trust Carson Wentz against that Buffalo defense that's number one against the quarterback.
Well, I saw him pass for that one touchdown from the end zone, but it was to the defense. And they scored it, but hey, that's okay.
Yeah. Well, one guy we're definitely starting all the time, no matter what, and even going up against the running back defense that's number one in the league, Jonathan Taylor. He's leading the league with 937 rushing yards.
Right.
He's scored in 6 straight games. He's going to be the RB1. He's the RB1 already. I think he's going to be the far and away the RB1 and be the guy that we're picking number one overall next year. So I think I have him on a couple teams and loving it. You asked me which ones I'm in first place. Well, it's those teams. So go figure.
All right. Way to keep that a secret, George. Now I know what's going on. So, I'll be
on the Buffalo side, you're playing Josh Allen. It's the Colts are number 28 on the season against the quarterbacks. I don't think I'm starting any of their running backs. The Colts are good against the run. They're number 2 against the running back. But Stephon Diggs, your boy, your main squeeze from last year. He's the big reason. He's one of the big reasons why you got a championship. Your name is on the championship trophy. He's a definite, but I don't feel good about other guys like Emmanuel Sanders and Cole Beasley. I think I have to. I have a couple leagues where I have to play Sanders just because it's kind of deep leagues.
I like Beasley. I mean, as Greg, our longtime friend who needs to come back on the show because I know you're listening, Greg. But Cole Beasley is just he's automatic as long as they can pass it to him, and they're going to be at home. I think it's going to be cold. They got a little winter storm coming up that way. I don't know if it's going to last till Sunday, but just watch the weather because he's the good little drop-off pass whenever it's bad weather. So,
yeah, it'll be cold and, about 40 degrees at game time, but maybe some drizzle, but they're not expecting like heavy rain or, definitely not going to be getting cold enough to snow. So, but he's a guy. I mean, the Indianapolis defense is number 29 against the wide receivers. So I really look at that. I'm not feeling, all the way secure because the volume has been fluctuating with Beasley and with Sanders, but this week, maybe it's a week that they're a go. And Dawson Knox is another one. He's back from his broken hand, and I think he's primed for a big game because they're all the Colts are also number 29 against the tight end. So
yeah, 29. That's bad, right? In the draft, that's pretty good, but when it comes to defense, that's bad, right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. All right, so we're gonna go down to Chicago, not Chicano, Chicago. Baltimore 6-3 at the Bears, 3-6. You got Baltimore 4.5 point road favorite, but it's a 3-game difference. So I don't maybe take the points, but that's not in our system. It's a 44.5 point over under. It's they're expecting 45 degrees and cloudy, not
that's
a lot of wind.
Weather, and
Yeah, that's shorts. Yeah, it's shorts weather for them this time of year. Lamar Jackson. I mean, I know he had a clunker of a game last week, but I really think that there's every possibility that he could be the MVP of the league by the end of the season.
Because I picked him for my quarterback? Yes.
Yeah, probably, yes. He's throwing more. He's throwing and running more, but it's because they're running more plays, and he's just. I really think, it's going to be between him and Mahomes for being the top some fantasy points, and we'll see about the MVP who does better. And when it comes to the running back side, they did release Le'Veon Bell this week. And so, Devonta Freeman, he had 50% rushing attempts last week.
Right.
I think he's primed for more work.
Yeah, he was out there. He was out there to pick up in the waiver wire. No one picked him up, and I thought about it, and I did not, and I'm kind of regretting it. So that's okay.
See, one of the primos took it from you. Well, one guy who's
that's the thing about this draft thing. You got to wake up at 3 and 4 in the morning, keep your phone on. It's pinging. Your girlfriend, your wife is going, "What the hell's that noise?" Like, no, don't turn it off. I got to know. So
yeah. My wife doesn't know about my girlfriend, so please don't say anything, okay, Primo?
Why do you have a second phone? Business and work. That's a good one.
It's the phone for Jennifer Aniston. So it's my bat line.
Yeah, is that the one with 0 minutes that never used?
Yeah, exactly. Muy bien, baby. Muy bien. I love it. So we got Marquise Brown. He's getting 12 and he's become a target monster. He's averaging between 12 and 14 targets in the last 3 games. You got Mark Andrews getting a ton of targets. Rashad Bateman is just getting plenty of work out there. I mean, this is a legitimate passing attack, and the Bears are number 20, they're number 27 against the wide receiver. That's their big weakness this year. So, I'm looking to fire up against them. I'm looking to fire up.
Baltimore probably wins double digit, and Lamar, I think he'll have a good game. I'm hoping he does because I have him as my quarterback in 2 leagues, 2 of the 3, and but Chicago, it's hit or miss. Justin Fields, I want him to do well, because I remember seeing him in college, and I know he can. It's like you want to watch the kid get up off the ground, brush himself off, and go run for a touchdown because he's had some, glimmers of greatness. You've seen it. He runs in, Chicago goes crazy, and that town just wants a good team, and I want Chicago to have a good team because that's a great city, and I love the people there. So we'll see because I'm in Sonoma. Our football team's not doing too well. The high school team, the Dragons, are like 75, something like that. That's okay. We have good Cabernet, and that's what counts. So anyway,
you don't have good middle linebackers, but you have good Cabernet. So
exactly,
the football players, they're not good at tackling, but they're good at stomping the grapes. So
exactly.
I will say I do like Justin Fields. I agree with you that I want to see him do well. I like what I've seen the last couple games. I really liked what I saw against Pittsburgh in a tough environment. I think that was very impressive, and I've recommended him on a couple of places, a couple of weeks now on our waiver wire show to pick him up because I think he's definitely a player that you want to have in a super flex league. But he could be a streaming quarterback some weeks. Especially now that he's running some more. David Montgomery is back, so he got a pretty hefty workload coming off the bye week. I'm really expecting big things out of him. Allen Robinson, missing practice with a hamstring injury, so it could be Darnell Mooney. It could be Cole Kmet, who's got 20 targets in the last 3 games. And Baltimore has been okay against wide receiver, but they've given up some big games. So I look at this one very distinct possibility.
I like the idea of the super flexy. Anyway, that's my 80s songs.
I'm too super flexy for my shirt. Too super flexy for my shirt. So.
There you go. Good.
Let's get in. Let's see. Well, you know what? Let's jump down to Green Bay at Minnesota. Because that's one of our bets this week. Green Bay 8-2 at Minnesota 4-5. So you got Green Bay -1 point and 47.5 point over under. You got Aaron Rodgers. It's now the second game coming off of COVID, probably the most public COVID case of the year. So he is. Could this be a break? I'm saying this has the makings of a bust out game for him. You got Minnesota that they give up yardage like crazy to wide receivers. Quarterbacks, they're kind of in the middle. They're number 13, but I think this game could be a sneaky shootout. Aaron Rodgers does traditionally play well when he's going into domes. So he loves playing there. He loves playing in Detroit. I'm calling a breakout game for him and for AJ Dillon, who has the backfield to himself. And this is a Minnesota defense that's number 17 against the running back. So I really like AJ Dillon this week. How about you?
You think Aaron Rodgers is going to knock them out, or as I say, inoculate them out? Oh, is that too soon? Too soon? Hey, come on.
Oh, that was good.
That was just off the cuff. I like that.
That was
Aaron,
good.
if you're listening, because him, just like Eli, or not Eli, Peyton, don't get mad. You can use my joke. It's all good.
But, I love it.
Aaron's trying to prove something. I think he's still a little bitter that everyone's there. He's like, I'm going to show you. And his little tossy behind the backs, all that stuff. I love it, But Minnesota's going to come on strong. And I think there are 4 games less. So your system should say Minnesota would win, right?
Yes, it does have Minnesota winning.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, you're in a situation here. I think Green Bay is going to win. But you know what? Your system may prove right. And then everyone will start to rush to Vegas and Tahoe after this. So we shall see.
We're going to see on that one, but I think he's looking really good. Devontae Adams is going to get plenty of work. I don't know, but I mean, I want to look at Marquez Valdez-Scantling and Alan Lazard a little bit more closely right now. Their utilization is pretty, their targets are fairly even. I'm looking them up right now. It's, it's what we've been wanting forever. We've wanting someone to be the second receiver for them. And I mean, you still got, you got Adams, who's getting 31% of the targets. Last week, Valdez-Scantling just got 6. Alan Lazard got 12. It's just Randall Cobb got 12. I don't know what he's going to get. I don't know if you can trust anybody other than Devontae Adams in this offense.
Yeah, I think Scantling, if you give him one more name, Marquez Valdez-Scantling Juarez, then he'll have a true Hispanic name, 4 names, get it on the jersey, and then he's just going to kill it because you got to sit there and go. But, yeah. I think Green Bay is going to win. I think Green Bay is going to win by probably, let's say, 10 points. That's my prediction.
Oh, you do? Yeah. I think this is going to be a close game. This is going to be a close game. So I'm definitely expecting a close game on this one. Even though I said the pick that we have to do is Seattle, not the Minnesota one. But one thing to keep in mind that I saw our buen amigo of the show, Pat Fitzmaurice, who does the Fitz on Fantasy podcast, in their last 3 games, the Packers have gone up against Kyler Murray, Patrick Mahomes, and Russell Wilson. They've given up, on average, a little more than 200 yards, 200.3 yards.
Wow.
Only 5.46 yards per attempt, and they've only given up 1 touchdown during those 3 games and forced 4 interceptions. That, to me, is a baller defense, and they're doing something right over there. And honestly, if that defense keeps playing the way it's playing, I think they're going to the Super Bowl and going to win. And wouldn't that just be perfect after the year that we've had with Aaron Rodgers for him to come in and win the Super Bowl? I mean, that would just be poetic. That would just be phenomenal.
I'm going to Disneyland, but they won't let me in because I'm not vaccinated, but that's okay.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry, sir. This is not an immunization card. We need a vaccination card. So
the Brown game.
Anyway. But you know what? This game could be a sneaky shootout. You got Minnesota, where Kirk Cousins has his biggest games at home. So does he get in the shootout? You got Dalvin Cook, who is great on the ground. Came off a 94-yard effort with 24 receiving yards last week. He's great. They're looking for Cousins is looking for Justin Jefferson. This guy has to get 10 to 15 targets every week. 10, not just, don't even limit it at 15. If you're if you hit 15, just keep going. This guy is a stud. He had 143 yards last week, no touchdowns, but 143 yards, caught 9 of 11 balls. This is a guy you need to get the ball into his hands. Another guy who Adam Thielen, he's just regular getting. He's got at least 7 targets in the last 4 games, and you got and if you need a desperation play at tight end, you got Tyler Conklin. It's he was a tight end 4 last week with 11 receiving yards. That just tells you, Primo, what what everything it looks like when it comes to the tight end position.
Yeah, I tell you, because you know they play in Mexico once a year. I forget which teams play, but if we can get Cousins to play, the Vikings to go down there, I would love it if he changed his jersey to say Primos instead of Cousins.
Muy bien.
Awesome.
Yeah. Me encanta, Primo. Me encanta. I love it. But yeah, I really like this game, so I think it's going to be a good one. Let me see. How are we doing on time? We're doing pretty good.
Yeah. If we got to get to Vegas, you know, speaking of Vegas, we got to go out there and go see a Raider game. I heard they were going to have a baby contest. They were going to have babies dress up like in Raider outfits, and it was going to be the Just Win Baby contest, you know, and I hope they do it. I've heard rumors, but I think that would be fantastic because I've got 2 twin nieces that we'll dress them up silver and black, and they'll be the Just Win babies. I love that.
That'd be perfect. That'd be perfect. Even though their dad is a Seahawks fan, so that's
exactly
that's even more perfect. But you know what? Well, you know what? Let's. You mentioned Miami at the Jets, so as one of our bets for the week. So, you know, kind of looking a little bit at that one. I think this is a part of the reason why I really like that game. Tua Tagovailoa. You've got the Jets who are allowing 320.8 passing yards and 12 total TDs passing since week 6. And, you know, Tua looked pretty good in about a half worth of football last week, you know, and he's been really good when he's had a plus matchup. And this won't be at home, but weather's not going to be an issue. It's 50 degrees. It's going to be about 50 degrees at kickoff, which for a Hawaiian, that's cold. That's you know, bordering on freezing. You're looking at frostbite, but I think you're looking at. I think you're looking at a big game coming up from him. Myles Gaskin. He is getting consistent touches. Much as we hate to think about it, he's gotten 15 touches in the last 4 games. And
I don't hate it. I love it. I love it on my team.
Exactly. And you've got Jalen Waddle and Mike Gesicki who are getting the targets. Jalen Waddle getting at least 6 targets from weeks 5 to 10. And you got Gesicki got 7 targets last week. He got 0 receptions, but he still got 7 targets. So and he's got at least 6 targets in every game since week 2. So except for 1 game. So this is a concentrated passing attack between those 2 guys and Myles Gaskin getting some run out of the backfield. And this is a shout out for Primo Hector, who was saying so many, you know, who picked up the Miami defense 2 weeks ago for our Familia League, and we were both saying it was crazy. Primo, yes, you're loco like a fox. In those 2 weeks, the Miami defense has allowed 19 points. Got 9 sacks, 6 turnovers, and 1 touchdown. They've gotten 22 plus fantasy points both weeks. That's like what Cooper Kupp did last Monday Night Football. So, muy bien hecho. And on the Jets side, with Joe Flacco, I think the only guy I'm looking to start is Michael Carter, who's the RB3 since week 7. So with 202 rushing yards and another 242 receiving yards. The Miami defense, especially the secondary, they're balling out right now. So I don't know if I trust Elijah Moore. I don't know if I trust Corey Davis. It's just
I think Miami, I'm going to go to Tahoe and go big on Miami. The one thing I will say, though, Miami, the Jets, the Jaguars, teams that are not doing well, but they're so excited. And when they win and the team gets on each other, it's like watching high school teams that have won the big underdog game. These guys, they're a fun team. You can tell they get along. I mean, for being a losing team, because this is their job, but these guys enjoy it. And it's been fun to watch. This will be, you know, people, this is kind of like the bottom of the barrel, the toilet bowl. But I think this is going to be a fun game to watch. They're both going to be into it. They both want to win, and they both think they have a chance to win, you know, which they do every week, but I think more now. So I'm looking forward to this game, especially since I've got all the money, all the moolah on it.
The money. Show me the money. Well, this one's a game where, I mean, you're right. There's not just pride, because there's a lot of young players on these teams. And so I look at the fact that these players are gonna are really trying to establish themselves in the league, try and keep a job. So I'm looking at this game. This game's going to be hard hitting, but I think you're right. I think Miami's going to come out ahead on this one.
And Joe Flacco, he's so skinny. Flacco, eat something.
Pinche flaco. Come on, ándale. You know, come, ven aquí. We got some tamales for you. Ay. Well, let's go to Vegas to close this out in one of the afternoon games, 1 p.m. games for those of us on the West Coast. You got Cincinnati 5-4 at Vegas 5-4 with the Bengals a 1-point favorite and a 50.5 over under. You got Cincinnati coming off a bye. I'm firing up everybody. Burrow, Joe Mixon, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, definitely those guys. And thinking long and hard about Tyler Boyd and CJ Uzomah, especially Uzomah being a tight end, he's always going to be necessary. But on the Raiders side, you got Derek Carr, who's been up and down of late. The Bengals are number 14 against the quarterback. Josh Jacobs, if he's 100% healthy, I think he's going to have a big game because those Bengals are number 28 against the running back, 28. So I'm looking at this one, and Kittle down the middle. Well, we got Waller down the middle, so he needs to be he needs to blow
Waller the baller. Come on, there you
go. Waller. Yeah. So the fantasy footballers call him the Walrus. So, but yeah, he needs to. Where is he right now on fantasy rankings? Number 6. He's the tight end.
He's not getting any passes. They're double teaming him every time because there's nobody else to throw it to. So that's how that's how they're really shutting down some of the Raiders. The team is just basically get rid of Waller, who's like their guy, and and then Hunter Renfrow has been killing it because he's getting all the passes. But not to say that he's not good. But if he's going to be open, you go ahead and do it. But I got to give Derek Carr some credit. The guy still throws dimes, and I just don't know what's going on. And, with Chucky gone, maybe that's affected them. But I knew they'd do well that first week back. They always do. And now I think it's a little bit reality check. Daddy's gone. He's not coming back, that type of thing.
I do wonder what they're going to look like the second half of the season. I mean, if some of the fatigue of all the drama is going to wear on them. I mean, I do think they're a veteran team that comes up and they can kind of compartmentalize and shut out the noise a little bit better. But it's going to be tough. I think it's going to be a lot of Carr to Waller and Renfrow. With a healthy dose of Josh Jacobs getting worked in against that Cincinnati defense. I'm going to be very curious to see if Bryan Edwards sees his target share keep growing. It's it's not very pretty. It hasn't been very pretty for him. It hasn't been very consistent for him. I mean, last week he did score a touchdown, got 88 receiving yards, but he had a week where he got a donut recently. So it just it's just tough to really feel like you could trust him. But they need help. They need somebody to step up. Nobody has been able to step into that Henry Ruggs position. So maybe it's him. Maybe it's Deshaun Jackson. So this game, I like this game from a fact-finding mission. So that to me is going to be the interesting part about this game.
Maybe we'll get another tie. A tie. You can't tie in football. As my high school coach would say, like, that's like kissing your sister. It don't count. That tie doesn't matter. So.
No, dígame. Muy bien, Primo. Bien dicho.
Right.
Man. Well, Primo, I think that's it. I'm gonna get into some more. I'm gonna get into some more games on, writing them up on the familiafp.com site. But for now, eso es todo for our show.
That's right. We gave a lot of insight. We gave a lot of knowledge. We gave a lot of what?
We gave a lot of we gave everything. We gave 110% today.
That's right.
We gave todo nuestras tripas. We gave everything. So we got rid of
we're past the afternoon. We're in the evening. Who knows? They don't know what time it is, but it's let's say it's the afternoon delight, just like we like. So on that note, Georgie, I'll let you close it out. Do your thing.
Familia, eso es todo for our show. Special thanks to YouTube for putting us out there on our Familia FFB channel. Please make sure you're giving us a like and subscribe. Also, special thanks to Anchor for being our hosting network and putting our audio podcast out into the Familia community. Please make sure you're subscribing at Apple, Google, Spotify. Check out our original content at familiaffb.com. You can find me at Jorge Martin 17. I push out all our content there. Also, check out Instagram, Facebook. We're on Facebook Live right now, and Twitter at Familia FFB. Familia. We are so thankful for coming along with us. We really appreciate it. We're giving thanks for all our community, all our both our immediate family. I'm thankful for my primo Nico, my primos Ricky and Hector, everybody that we've been around. I tell you, I've been looking at the numbers, and our Familia community is growing. So it's great. I passed 1,000 followers on Twitter recently. So yeah, actually did it yesterday on my birthday. So muchas gracias. It was a great birthday present. And
what? It's your birthday? And that's everyone. Everyone's singing it. No, we'll do that later.
I had plenty of people singing me happy birthday yesterday, and there's plenty of stuff on that one. But Primo, it's always so much fun to hang out with you, because you and I practically grew up together, and it's just special. So I'm gonna close it out. Everybody, always remember, todos somos familia.
That's right.
Salud.
Salud.